can be telling myself that I know I shouldn't be doing this and that this is destroying not only my body, but my future.
Yeah.
But here I am walking into the liquor store. Here I am buying the bottle. Here I am opening the bottle, and now I'm drinking it. And for a small moment of time, here I am feeling good now. Those are the moments where I started to realize this is a problem.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Nothing Fancy. Today, I'm joined by Justin Strole. Those who don't know who Justin is, can you share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, not really sure where to start, but I'm from Toledo, born and raised. I guess I'll just fast forward to
What part of Toledo?
Toledo. Yep.
Okay.
I went to Springfield High School, so I was born in Toledo, over off of Reynolds and Door, kind of where the shop is.
Yeah.
Yeah, over off Reynolds and Door in a little trailer park called Meadowbrook Estates.
Wait, right behind the shop,
Yeah.
those trailer parks.
No, a caddy corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next to the strip mall, where the gas station is, or the carry out
Okay. Yeah.
strip club, and then Meadowbrook Estates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right there. Grew up there. I lived in that trailer park till I was about 14. And then the school district that we were in was not the best.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents wanted to send me to a little bit of a better school. So we ended up moving to Holland, Ohio when I was 14. That's where I went to Springfield High School.
And that's when you became what did you call it the other day? When we looked at that guy's it was last year. What was his name?
Crush the Turtle.
No. You were like it was like a group of kids in Holland. What's it called? Shoot.
I don't know.
Damn. Okay.
It'll come to you. But yeah, so I went to Springfield High School. I don't know. I feel like there was a big push back when I was graduating high school you had to go to college or you were not going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
None of my parents had ever gone to college or anything like that, so I wasn't really sure how that process went. Really,
What year was that? Like
2008.
Oh, 08.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So 2008 was a weird year because I'm sure you remember. That's like kind of when the market crashed.
Yeah. Yep.
So my dad lost his job. My mom lost her job. I'm trying to figure out school. How am I going to go to college?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know. I knew that there was financial aid, but I didn't really know how that worked.
Yeah.
So I applied for my first semester of school at Owens Community College. And about a month into classes, I get an email from the advisor board saying, like, you didn't pay no tuition yet. So you either got to pay tuition or you got to go. And I'm all confused. Like, what do you mean I got to go? Don't you guys give me till the end of till I'm done with school to start paying this back? And they're like, well, you got to file for loans. So I got kicked out my first semester, like a month in, because I hadn't paid no money and I didn't drop out properly. So I ended up getting a 0 grade point average.
Really?
My first semester.
No way.
Dude,
So
it's
you
rough.
have to. So if you're going to college, you have to pay before you even get there.
Yeah, it's almost like buying a car. Like before you leave with the car, you either got to finance it,
Yeah.
and get a loan approved, or you pay cash, check, whatever
Yeah.
it is. You know what I mean? And I just I just kind of dove in.
Yeah.
So I signed up for school and all excited because I'm like, yeah, the
And you
first
were
person
accepted and everything.
you get accepted at Owens. It don't matter.
I don't know.
They call it Slowens.
Do they really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking away from it because I think it is a great starting point.
Someone's gonna be watching this like, what the?
Listen. Owens is good because it's a good starting point to get all your your prereqs down for the first 2 years, and then you can transfer to like UT, BG, wherever it is, paying half the tuition.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, I'm signed up for school and I didn't file for loans. I didn't have no cash.
Yeah.
Like I'm a bright, I got a bright future ahead of me.
Yeah.
None of my people in my family been to college, and then boom.
Do you feel like, I was just gonna ask you that? Do you feel like did you really actually want to go to college?
No.
No.
Looking back on it, not at all.
You were just doing it because your parents.
And I didn't like high school.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was doing it because of my parents. I was doing it because that was like the level. That was like that's how you became like socially accepted.
Yeah.
In a better level, you know what I mean? Like,
think
you
that
go to
was
family events and they're like, "What are you doing now?"
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go to Christmas or you go
That's that pressure, huh?
That's the pressure.
Yeah.
Or you either go to Christmas or you go to like a social event with your old friends and they're all talking about, "Oh, I'm at Ohio State. Things are cool down here on campus. Whatever. This party, and I'm like, man, I gotta do this or else I'm not gonna fit in. Basically, you know what I mean?
You think it's like the American thing to do?
I think it was.
Yeah.
There was no push to like go into trades or anything like that.
Yeah. What you said you thought it was, you think it was.
Yeah.
What do you think it is now?
I think that it's more socially accepted to not go to college. And I think
True.
people are willing, I think industries and businesses are willing to hire in those who might not have been qualified.
Yeah, I think,
You know what I mean? Without a degree.
do you think like we're like as a society in general, we're like evolving to that like college is a scam type of thought?
Yeah. I think there's definitely fields where college is necessary.
Right. That's a
You
good way to
can't get
put
out of
it.
high school and become a medical doctor by any means,
Mm-hmm.
or an engineer, but I mean, I was going to school for a business degree and I wanted to become an engineer. So I was trying to take all my prereqs at Owens to become to transfer to UT to go to engineering school.
Yeah.
So after 2 years, I transferred to UT after finishing up the prereqs, like, you know, your English, your math, your science, your basic stuff. Then I transferred to UT to go into engineering. I took my first engineering class. There was like 400 people in the class. And, you know, he's like, if you got any questions after class, just get in line and ask me. And I saw what the line was like. And I'm like, oh, I got questions, but I'm not waiting another 2 hours after class to ask this question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to the point where I was just like, this isn't for me. And
I feel like most people that I've met that went to college and has a degree, like I would say 95% of them don't even use
it.
like their college degree.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I looking back on it, I wish I never even went, but at the same time, this is my path to get me to this point still.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause like, even for me, like sometimes I look back and I'm like, you know, I'm just like, man, I wish I would have went to college.
Right.
But then I think about it and I'm like, well, maybe if I would have went to college, I would have went a whole different path.
You never know.
You know, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's hard to look back and say I regret doing this or that because, you know, I wouldn't be living the life I'm living now. And I'm not saying that I'm living a life and I'm not where I want to be at all. But I've gotten to a point where I'm a lot more comfortable, in my own skin and financially, whatever you want to say.
And how'd your parents take you kind of like dropping out or getting out of college? How'd they take that?
I don't think to be honest with you, I don't think they took it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think they took me starting college anyway either. I mean, really, nobody in my family had gone to college. Getting a basic job, 40 hours a week, making whatever was good in 2008, 20 plus an hour was successful in my family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So going to college, getting an actual degree, finishing that out, I'm sure they would have been proud as hell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But not finishing, it's not like they abandoned me or I was like dismembered from the family or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they would have liked me to finish it out, but at the same time, I've never really had parents who are pushing me to do anything outside of what I've comfortable with doing. You know what I mean? They just want me to be happy.
Yeah. And
So they never really pushed me to go to college or push me to do this or whatever it might be.
that's good because like I feel like a lot of people just it's like for like how old were you in 2008?
17, 18, something. Yeah.
You know, and I think as like adults, now that I look at it, like, you know, I'm about to be 32 and I look at like the social like pressures that sometimes like my parents, I mean my mom never really gave a shit either. You know, but I do see like a lot of like people like feel pressured into like, hey, what are you doing? What's next for you? What's going on? What are you up to? Like, and so people like younger generations, just younger people get what's the word, like they feel like they have to figure something out,
Right.
and so they just pick something, just to pick something,
Right.
and then they realize like I never even liked this.
Yeah,
shit.
never even liked it.
You
It's
know?
crazy to me that you think you're forcing this 17, 18-year-old kid who has no grasp on what real life is like.
Mm-hmm.
Look at yourself when you were 17 or 18.
Right.
What did you know? You probably thought you knew everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, but you don't know nothing. What you do know is, shoot, I got to make this decision because everybody around me is telling me I need to. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
Am I supposed to go to college? Do I get a full-time job? Do I do both? You know what I mean? So I mean, you have those parents who are big time sticklers, and sometimes I wish I had parents who guided me a little bit more. And I'm not taking away from my parents at all, but I never really had that person pushing me to do this or making sure that my grades were good in school or that I was staying up to par with sports or whatever it might be. So I kind of just was winging it
Yeah.
when I was 18, 19, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah. No, I also think about that too, because yeah, it's like you kind of just winging it, and thankfully, like I feel like we turned out to be good. But there you see a lot of situations where it doesn't turn out to be a good
Yeah.
or a positive thing,
Yeah.
right? Where people turn to drugs,
Right.
or they turn to whatever else, crime. So how'd you keep yourself accountable?
I think I went through a phase when after dropping out of school where I had no accountability. You know what I mean? And I was kind of utilizing other people that were in my corner that wouldn't let me fail. Like, what am I trying to say? For example, when I didn't have a place to stay for a year or two, I had a friend. His name was Kelly. His parents let me stay with him. So I always had people that kind of like had my back. So I never really had like, oh, you need to be accountable for. But what happens is you start to kind of like, for myself, I started to kind of figure out like, man, is this really what I want to do? Is just like lean on other people my whole life to just be okay.
Be like dependent
On people. Yeah. And that's kind of how my dad was his whole life. He was dependent on other people to have a place to live, help him with bills, relying on food stamps, whatever it is. He never went out and really got it on his own. You know what I mean? So looking at that, you're like, I was able to take a step back and kind of look and see and say to myself, like, is this what I want to do? And you can kind of see patterns that I had throughout my life. And I'm like, I just need to course correct. I need to take accountability for my actions, take accountability for my mistakes. And I'm still trying to figure that out.
And the what I think is we obviously I've known you for a while, and you talk about like the differences of like homelessness, and I'd like you to talk about that a little bit, because like you just said a little bit ago, you lived with different people for about a year and a half, 2 years, and I think it's important to know, because like me personally, I always like when you think of like being homeless, you think of like, I feel like you think of like someone literally out in the streets,
sleeping,
and
no nothing.
And like when you talk about it, it really reminds me of like when I was out traveling and I would just stay in hotel for hotel. And I was like, man, like in a way, like I didn't have a home, which is how I ended up in Toledo, because I'm like, I need a home. Right. But if you want to talk a little bit about the differences of homelessness.
Oh, for sure. So after high school, before high school, actually, in 2004, right when we moved to Springfield and I was about to start high school, my mom ended up filing for a divorce from my dad. They never really had a healthy relationship by any means, and I didn't realize it at the time, but a divorce was the best case scenario for everybody, including me and my brother. Just because, I mean, you know what toxic environment, you've heard of what a toxic environment is, but when you're younger and these are your parents, you're not sure why they're breaking up or whatnot. So you kind of put the blame on yourself a little bit. But so they got a divorce in 2004. Fast forward a little bit, I'm going through high school. I'm living with both of them. They never really did like custody battles or anything like that. They kind of just let us stay where we wanted to stay for the night.
Yeah.
So my mom moved in with my aunt over off Tremainsville in Toledo, and my dad still stayed in Holland, so we could stay in Springfield District. We could still go to the same high school.
Yeah.
So my dad and my grandma lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. Okay. And my mom lived with my aunt or her sister in a house. So my dad and my grandma are sharing a room. I'm sleeping on the couch. My brother is sleeping in the same bedroom with my dad and my grandma. So I got this option, or I can go live with my mom in her sister's house, in my aunt's house. So I kind of hopped back and forth between that. And after I got old enough, what I ended up doing was I had this opportunity to go out to Put-in-Bay. And at the time I was bouncing between my mom's house, my dad's house. And then for the year before I went to Put-in-Bay, I was living with my friend Kelly.
Yeah.
at his mom's house. So it was my friend Kelly, him, his brother Kyle, and then the mom Lori. And I'm grateful for them for
Do
sure.
you still talk to them?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not as much. I wish I was still as connected as I used to be with them, but I mean, I would still consider him my best friend for sure. And I know that they looked out for me in a time when I really needed somebody to look out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just they had an extra bedroom. I had a mattress. I threw it on their floor, and that's where I slept. So I had like for the first time somewhere where I could like know I could go
Mm-hmm.
and put my head down at the end of the night. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I didn't want to get caught up in that situation. So when I was about 22, I'm living at Kelly's house, 21, 22, living at Kelly's house. I get this opportunity to go out to Put in Bay. I had a cousin that had worked out at Put in Bay
Mm-hmm.
in the past. She had to connect to work out there. So I had no knowledge of the bar industry or anything like that. But I just knew it was an opportunity for me to have somewhere to go stay, get away from everything, make some good money, hopefully make some good connections, and then come back with a better plan, I guess. But so I went and lived out at Put in Bay. They give you housing and everything like that too. So went out there, lived out there for 2 years, really did whatever they wanted me to. I never bartended out there, but I would help with the hotel. I would help with security, just really do whatever
Mm-hmm.
in order to have a place to stay and make some money. You know what I mean?
So while you were out in Put in Bay, you didn't ever have like an actual like this is my place.
No, I was living with like 4 other people.
Wow.
Yeah, in a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 4 dudes in a hotel room. That
For a year and a half.
well, I would come home for the winter.
Okay.
And when I would come home for the
yeah,
winter,
Okay.
yeah, when I would come home for the winter, it was back to hopping around on couches.
Yeah.
So I would stay at my dad's house. I would stay at my mom's house sometimes too. But eventually I got to the point where I was able to move into an apartment with a couple buddies over off UT campus.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first first time like getting a grasp of some independence.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
How old were you at that point?
23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started bartending. So after I came back from Put in Bay, again, I didn't bartend out there. But when I came back from Put in Bay, I applied at Max and Irma's to be a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And I put on there that I was a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did is they saw Put in Bay and they saw bartender. They hired me right away. And what I did was I went on YouTube prior to me having an interview. I went on YouTube and I Googled basic bartending recipes and techniques. So I went in there and I kind of just faked it till I made it. You know what I mean? And I was
That's
like,
kind of smart.
I was like, listen, I worked at Put in Bay. I told him I bartended, but really I was like, I know how to make Long Islands, and I rattled off the Long Island recipe. I thought I was Slick Rick or something. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what though? Like you gotta fake it till you make it.
Sometimes.
I really respect that because
Yeah.
like it's unfortunate, but if you go your whole life just saying, hey, no, this is what I know, this is what I don't know. I guess every situation is different, right?
Yeah.
But some doors might never open
Exactly.
because you didn't exaggerate the truth a little bit.
So it's funny though, because after I got that job, after a year, I remember telling my boss, like, just so you know, I never bartended out there.
What'd he say?
And I mean, at that point, I had already like earned their respect, and I was kind
Right.
of their full-time bartender,
Yeah.
the one they kind of leaned on to run the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt comfortable enough knowing that my skills had gotten me to a point to at least still be able to have employment there by telling them that. But I told him, I was kind of like, hey, thanks for the opportunity. Just so you know, I was never a bartender. But what ended up happening was, like you said, it opened up doors for me that never would have been able to be opened if I kind of wouldn't have, fibbed a little bit on that first resume.
Right.
Because after Max and Irma's, I went on to work at a place called Granite City, where I was bartending there. And they have what's called a bar director for new stores that they open around the country. And I ended up becoming the bartender, like basically the bar director for the company.
Wow.
So I would go to new stores when they were opening, and I would train bar staffs on how to be a bartender. So here I am coming from a place where I'm lying on my application about being a bartender,
Yeah.
and now I'm actually training staffs. So I did have passion in that area for sure, and I think that's what allowed me to succeed for sure.
I want to go back to when you were couch surfing.
Yeah.
Like, you're 22, and it seems like it was like from when you were like 20 to like 23-ish.
Yeah, a couple years.
How did you feel like as a man?
Yeah.
In that moment, like not knowing what you were going to do with yourself, I'm sure, kind of like what we were saying earlier, those social pressures of maybe
Mhm.
someone saying, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Um, See, at that point in my life, I'd never really thought about, because you asked me like, how did I feel as a man?
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of a loaded question, because what is a man supposed to feel like in this moment? And that's something I never knew,
Hmm.
because my dad wasn't a very good masculine role model by any means.
Mm.
So I grew up watching somebody lean on everybody else.
Hmm.
So this was just the norm for me. You know what I mean?
Damn, yeah.
So I never really had like a social pressure to get out of this situation. But what happens is, if you take a step back and you start looking around at what everybody else is doing,
Hmm.
I'm not doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not pursuing a goal, or I'm not pursuing a dream. I'm couch to couch, job to job, enjoying my social life as a bartender. But am I really making any headway or any progress? So I never really had like in my head like a future plan, or a thought of this is what I want to do. So to me, in the moment, I was just enjoying myself.
You know, that's a great way to put it, because like it came from within you,
Yeah.
right? Like that need for wanting more. And just like you could have had, you had that need for wanting more, you could have had that need for like going a different path.
Yeah, 100%.
And and kind of going back to like, the question, it's like every young like man has a different reality to what like being a man is, so asking that question for me, I'm like, shit, what was I doing when I was 20, 21? See, when I was 20, 21, I had a crew, and I was leading a crew, and
Roofing?
yeah,
Yeah.
roofing, and so I guess the question was based off of my reality of
Yeah.
like what I was doing, and I was renting a house, and
Right.
but I love how you said each man, whatever, man, woman, whatever it is, we all have a different reality and our decisions are based off of who's around us.
Right.
Right. But at the end of the day, progress and success, personal success, starts within you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with also having a little bit of pressure from the outside world,
Mm-hmm.
because without that pressure, and the society that you live in, where you're like, man, if I don't really pick this shit up, man, where am I going?
Right.
If it was norm to be couch surfing, then I probably wouldn't have never got out of that route.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of take a step back and you're like, is this how I want to feel?
Yeah.
Because I never felt like I had anything going for me at that point. I was enjoying things, but I think I was enjoying things because I was putting all of my problems behind me.
Yeah.
I wasn't facing them. I was running from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So looking back on it now, I know that I should have done things differently. But again, I don't regret any decision I made,
Right.
because it put me in the spot I'm in now. But
I really like, one thing I also appreciate about your story is you're born and raised in Toledo. Like, and like my story, like I had to leave the city that I was in,
yeah,
partly because of the people I was involved in, or around and whatnot, just the things I was involved in. And two, because, once again, just as young people, sometimes we're like, I need to get out of this city.
right.
But you look at yourself now and you figured it out without having to leave the
Yeah.
city. What do you think? What could you tell someone who's like, I need to leave this city
Yeah.
to find success?
I think it's different, because I think there are moments when you do need to leave the environment that you're in order to change.
Yeah.
If you grow up and you're a drug addict or whatnot, and you're in this environment that you became an addict in, I can't speak on a drug addiction to that level, but how hard is it to get out of that environment when that's the environment that created the person that you are? So I think it's for different situations. But for me, I realized that my biggest problem was not having my head on straight, not having financial stability, not really having a mentor to lean on. So I kind of just, again, saw the world from my perspective, and I started to kind of piece together what people who were successful were doing, and kind of self-educating what I need to do and who I need. Really, it came down to just me being a social person and talking to people open the doors for me. But I think it's crazy sometimes when people want to leave Toledo because they think they're going to have better success outside of it, when really all they're doing is running from their own problems. Your problems are going to face you in Toledo or wherever you decide to move to. You know what I mean? You're going to have the same problems because a lot of that stuff was created by your mental state or the actions you were taking.
Or the people you're hanging around with.
Exactly. Yeah. So find a different circle. For me, Toledo was always, I love Toledo, man. I think it gets such a bad rap, but you can find any city, you can find a bad part in any city. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I love the city. I know that the cost of living is low. Yeah. I know that there's great opportunities. Being in the bartending life, I developed a pretty big social circle. So I had connections and I knew I wasn't going to leave.
At the end of the day, I feel like Toledo's like a big small city.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And like, do you feel like you mentioned how you networking and talking to people basically like taught you how to you doors started to open. And do you think that I guess before you started bartending, were you that social?
I was always a social person. Before I started bartending, I worked at it was called Urban Active, became LA Fitness. It was a gym. And before that, I had worked at a call center. So all of my jobs prior were developed around some type of social skill.
Yeah.
I remember there's a moment that sticks out to me though when I was bartending at Granite City that got me to become the bar director of the company. Everybody was always in fear when corporate would come in. Like the corporate people from Granite City would come in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why everybody's so afraid of people who have big titles.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're just a normal person. I'm sure there's sometimes people are afraid to talk to you being the owner of a business, or they're intimidated to go against what you're saying.
Right.
Because they don't want to disagree with you because you might think of them differently. But I always remember this moment at Granite City. The CEOs and all these bigwigs come in. They did it annually. They went to every store, you know what I mean? So it's not like this was anything special occasion. It was just their yearly visit to our store.
Yeah.
They came in, they were all sitting at a table, and we were just about to launch this new drink menu and food menu. And I remember they wanted us to make the drinks so that they could test them, or we could all test them and sample them. And I remember making the drinks, and I tasted it, and something was off. And I remember going up to one of the bigwigs. I don't even remember his title, probably some type of regional, you know what I mean, regional manager, and going up and saying that, hey, you need to change the amount of this ingredient in this drink. And he was kind of taken back. And then ever since that moment, I remember he ended up calling my general manager a couple weeks later and saying, hey, I want Justin to be the director of bar operations and go to all these new stores.
That's so cool. That's
standing up. I mean, if you know something's not right, or if you know, and this goes so far beyond just a drink recipe, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know something could be different, or because I mean, I was in front of the people. I knew what they liked. So I took my judgment and I went to him and I'm like, hey, I don't think this is the right amount of this ingredient. I think if we switched it up a little bit, it would be better. And the fact that I had the courage to go stand up to somebody who everybody else was afraid to talk to, I think is what got me to open that door.
I think you're right because, like you said, for some reason, when you meet someone that's richer, wealthier, whatever, just a successful person, they're surrounded by yes men. They're surrounded by people that are telling them yeah to everything, or this is great, or this is good, even if it sucks. Right. And the fact that you had the courage to tell him, hey, like this is too much of this or too much of whatever. Yeah. It showed him like you have that courage. Yeah. To if you have the courage to tell him that, you will have the courage to tell a team of people who, as bad as it sounds, aren't to his level of like, what's the word? Success. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very cool story though.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think, is it hard to be, obviously you own a couple companies. Is it hard when people come to you and disagree with you, do you take that the wrong way or do you appreciate that?
I appreciate it.
Do you?
Me, I appreciate it. I know, and that's why people. I think that's where it's like it's a gray area because
Yeah.
I know some people they get to be successful and their head blows up, right?
Yeah.
They think no one can tell them anything. They think that no one can say disagree or whatever. So I think that's what people fear.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, you know, hey, I'm sitting in front of this very successful person. If I say something that disagrees, it could go two ways.
Yeah.
They can love the fact that I said, hey, this isn't right,
Yeah.
or they can completely hate me
Yeah.
and maybe even manipulate where I go next.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it all has to do with that.
I don't think it's bad to have that fear of being, like you said, like, are they going to like what I'm doing or are they going to dislike it? And now I'm
Yeah.
screwing myself over by opening my mouth.
And I think the person, like the business owner or the entrepreneur you'll feel that, like,
Yeah.
you should feel that vibe
Yeah.
off of them as you get to talk to them and know them, whether or not they maybe start with a little disagreement
Yeah.
and see how
Test
they
the
feel.
waters.
Yeah, but that's the unfortunate part sometimes of success is that you get surrounded by a lot of yes people,
Yeah.
yes men, but also it's the fact that, you know, if you don't you could easily become like not humble,
Right.
you know, and become that person that everyone's scared to say something
Yeah.
to because you're gonna go, you know, nuts or whatever.
It's almost like, do you think that you kind of almost need somebody not to check you sometimes,
You do,
but
to
to put it out that way? Yeah.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think everybody in your life needs to check you, you know,
Right.
and like me and you, like, I feel like we have that relationship
Yeah.
where if you're like, hey, Kevin, I don't like this, like,
Right.
I truly appreciate it. And that's
Yeah.
why I always like tell just my teams in general, like, hey, like, no, tell me if this, cause I could, you know, as business people, you're also trying to figure it out. Right.
Right.
Like, it's not like, you know exactly what to do or,
Right.
you know, so it's like, you know, you could implement a system that you think is going to work, but the person who's actually doing the work thinks it sucks.
Right.
But if they never speak up,
Right.
you may lose a good employee, or they may say, hey, you know, this isn't, you know, they may never tell you anything and just get that like feeling of disgruntledness
Yeah.
or, you know, just feeling of like, oh, you know, they don't care about us because of this or X, Y, and Z, or they're making their job harder or whatever. But really, I think as business, just all businessmen in general are always trying to do the best for their company and the
Yeah.
best for their employees.
Yeah.
And that's how I work, right? So when I do something, I always try to look out for everything and make it fair for everyone. But I know that there's people that just won't say, hey, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you know for a fact that I'm the person that is going to tell you how it is for sure.
You know, and it keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
You know, someone like me appreciates it.
Yeah.
Honestly, 100%.
good.
The so you were, you know, testing out. Kind of going back to you know, you became the director and you started traveling. What cities did you go to?
I know that we shared an experience because you were in Nebraska for a while, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lincoln, Nebraska. I've been to other places, but Lincoln, Nebraska is my favorite place I've ever been to.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the places I've traveled.
Yep.
I don't know why. Well, I can tell you why. It's the people that live there.
Yep. Super nice.
So nice, man.
So nice.
You don't walk.
Beautiful.
The one thing I
women,
will
too.
say about Toledo is you can't walk around and be friendly to everybody because they're not going to be friendly back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. That's Toledo. I know that though. But Lincoln, Nebraska. So I got assigned to do 2 new stores within 1 year. One was in Chicago and one was in Nebraska. I also went to Detroit. I also went to South Dakota, Kentucky. There's a couple of another Northville, Michigan. So there's a couple different stores that I went to. But I remember there was 2 things. There was one store that I was not looking forward to go to at all, and that was Nebraska. And then there was another store that I was looking forward to going to, and that's Chicago.
Yeah.
And the only reason why was perspective-wise. When you think of Chicago, what do you think of?
Right. Just
Fun.
everything. You know,
Fun,
there's
social life.
Mm-hmm.
But I got there, man, and that was my worst experience out of all the stores. The demographic that area served was just very particular, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I had the least fun in Chicago out of all the stores that I've opened.
So you would go, they'd put you in a hotel, pay for all the hotel,
Yep.
and basically work every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed because they know you got no got.
So you're literally going there and just brand new faces. Hey, everyone,
Yep.
this is who I am.
Yep.
I'm going to teach you how to make drinks.
Yeah, so everybody that they hire, because they hire in a staff. There's There's, the training director for bars, training director for hosts, training director for the head chef, every position. So they hire the staff before the training directors come in. And then we're assigned to this group of people. Hey, these are the 13 bartenders we hired. And then they have a 2-week training class. This is what we want you to do on day 1, 2, 3. At the end, what they do is they do like a soft launch or a soft opening.
Yeah.
And then we stay for the 1 week after they open just to make sure that everything runs smoothly for the first week. But they hand you this staff and they say, hey, on day 1, we want you to train them on the basics. On day 2, we want you to train them on the food menu. You know what I mean? So you go through, and what you're supposed to do is at the end of it, you want to keep all your staff. You don't want people to quit because they don't like the vibe or the training program or the culture of the restaurant, whatever it might be.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, they tell you to, okay, you got 10 here, you get 3, or you gotta keep. You tell us the 3 best, so you try to keep them all.
Correct, and they kind of want you to set, because when we leave, they still want one bartender, the strongest bartender, or who I felt like was the strongest bartender, to be kind of the bar manager when we leave. So I do sit down with the general manager when I leave, and we kind of go over, okay, this is who I think your strongest is with the bar guests. This is who I think your strongest is to make drinks. So they kind of want to set themselves up for success after all the training directors leave as well.
I'm going to tell you a quick funny story about Longhorn Steakhouse. Okay. So there was a Longhorn Steakhouse that opened in Joplin, Missouri. 2012, I think, was the year. And my brother was the cook there. And he worked his ass off, right? And he'd come home 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I was jobless at this time. It was like winter time. I didn't have a job, and out of nowhere one day I get a call. This is a true story. It's super funny. But I get a call, and it's my brother with his manager, because the dishwashers kept quitting.
Tale as old as time.
Mountains of dishes, right? And so I get this call. I'm like, what's up? It's my brother, and it's like, hey, you want to come work? And he's like, I didn't even ask how much per hour. I'm just like, because I was looking for a job,
right.
And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I do.
Some money, bro.
And they loved me though. I was busting them dishes.
I bet you they
out. Did. But you know what? It'd be mountains of dishes. It was crazy. I get why people were quitting.
Oh, dishwashing is crazy, bro.
I'd come home. I swear, come home 3 o'clock in the morning, because it closed like at noon.
You're the last. You're probably the last person
midnight.
to leave.
It was me and 2 other people, because you couldn't leave like alone.
Right.
So 3 a.m. and then they'd be like, tomorrow you come in at 12. Or like 4 or 5 or whatever. By 12, they were calling me, hey, I'm sorry, we need you again. Like,
Dishes are backed up.
I was putting in 60 hours. I was getting some good checks though.
You know what? I never knew that. But you were a dishwasher?
Yeah, big time dishwasher. I was like the professional dishwasher.
Were you? You're the man, huh? Man,
if there's
anybody that a restaurant needs more, it's a dishwasher, man. Right. So after Granite City, I actually ended up becoming the general manager of Sideline Sports Eatery. It's a sports bar. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what.
You told me that one time.
And the hardest position to keep is a dishwasher. I told these people, I would hire these people, and I'd be like, listen, I don't care if you smoke a joint out back. I don't care what you do as long as these dishes get done and you just don't walk out. That's literally all I cared about. I didn't care. That was crazy. The hardest, man, that and line cooks. Much respect for people that can put in hours on being a line cook, especially at a sports bar when they're making $10 an hour.
You know what though? That dishwashing, man. That's
crazy. You wear the right boots, or you walk out with them ankles all soaked up.
And I'm over here trying to, this is 2012. I'm over here trying to hit on the waitresses. Like, nah, dude, you're the dishwasher, bro.
Hey, man. Another tale as old as time is a back of house worker hitting on a front of house worker, man. That's classic.
No, but I wanna kind of, so I want to talk a little bit about, recently, within the last year and a half, you've kind of opened up about, some struggles that you've had. And, we've talked about how, how we believe, I believe that it has to do with how many years you were in bartending, which was 10 years, right?
Yeah. Just about.
And, you kind of open up about having like alcohol struggles. Yeah. If you want to kind of take
I don't think alcohol struggles are really like socially accepted. Like how many people probably have an alcoholic problem that they don't know they do? Mm-hmm. Because it's so socially accepted.
Right.
So to start off, what I would say is after I left, Max and Irma's, Granite City, Sidelines, there's some other jobs in between, but just to go down the timeline, after Sidelines, I got a job downtown in an actual high volume bar environment. All the other bartending jobs I had worked at prior were like restaurants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I started working at a downtown spot called Cock and Bull, which is a high volume, nighttime. They don't really start getting busy till 9 or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So I would go into work at 9 o'clock. I'm not getting home till 4 or 5 in the morning. But what I got caught up in was it. Not only is it socially acceptable to drink, it's acceptable to drink while you're working as like a high volume bartender. Not to say it was acceptable, but we did.
I realized recently that's just like Toledo.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is a bartender up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He said he'd get fired instantly.
Oh yeah. See, now if I came up and I went out and I'm like, I'm taking shots to my boss, yes, I'd probably get in trouble.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna pour 4 shots for myself.
Right.
But they also get the name of the game too, because I don't know what it is, but people like to take shots with bartenders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take a shot with me or whatever it is. So, but it just became too normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was drinking pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward a little bit, you don't realize, I don't realize how big of a problem it is until after I quit bartending.
Mm-hmm.
So after I quit bartending, I got a job doing sales at Guardian Alarm, selling alarm systems.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in 10 years that I haven't been bartending.
Yeah.
So drinking at this point is still socially acceptable and normal for me.
Yeah.
But I'm getting off work, I'm coming home, going to work out, dinner, whatever it is, and then I start drinking. My girlfriend Kyra called me out one night, and I'll never forget this time. We were about to go to bed, and I said, "Hold on, let me go take a shot." She's like, "Why do you need to take a shot before you go to bed?"
Right.
That's what I was doing in the past.
Yeah.
Drinking all the way up till before I'd go to sleep. So pretty much every night when I was working at Cock and Bull, I was drinking until I was drunk.
You probably never thought about it until she asked that
Well,
question.
because and then why do I need a shot?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So, I mean, that just has been what I was doing for the past 10 years. So at that point,
It was like a habit. At that
it was a
point.
habit.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't realize it was a bad habit or an addiction,
Yeah.
which is what it ended up coming to be. But I had to tell myself that.
Mm-hmm.
But before I got to that point, there was a lot of lying in between
Mm-hmm.
because I started to realize that this might be a problem.
Yeah.
So when you have people that, are on your side, your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your wife, that are telling you, hey man, like, I think you have a problem, instead of facing it, I started hiding it. So I'm hiding drinks, cabinets. I'm going to the gas station before I get home and drinking. Still in my head, I'm like, it's starting to become a problem, but to me, I'm like, I just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do what I want to do, and I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
But then you get to that point where I was hiding it every single day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is that the reason why you left the bartending world? Because or why'd you leave?
I left the bartending world because I was 30 years old, 31. And I just knew that this wasn't the path to grow old with.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the 50-year-old bartender.
Yeah.
40-year-old bartender. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have more of a stable income. Again, I loved what I did, and I had a really big social circle, and all that stuff was very cool. But I will say that the reason and the push that I needed was my girlfriend Kyra.
Yeah.
Not that she looked down upon me for being a bartender, but she was honest with me, and she said, "Is this what you want to do for the rest of your life?"
Yeah.
And at the time, me being ignorant, yes, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like thinking to myself, do I want to go into work at 9 o'clock?
60-year-old
Do I
bartender.
want to be a 60-year-old bartender getting home
Yeah.
at 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
I want to be dealing with this stuff for the rest of my life. I mean, it's annoying sometimes too,
And that was a perfect time to stop because after 30, you need that sleep.
You need that sleep. It don't come easy. But so I'm 31. I'm applying for jobs. And to be honest with you, it's hard to admit, but to be honest with you, I was applying for jobs just to make her, not her happy, but to let her know that I was serious about future and my future with my work and with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, let me go step out into the real world and try to get these real jobs that people always told me to do.
I think it's important and it's really cool that you had that realization, whether it was what she said or before then.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you were like, damn, do I really want to do this the rest of my life? Because like, I'm gonna tell you a quick story about like myself. Earlier this year, after Jeff passed, I kind of went. I wasn't drinking, and then he passed, and it kind of went. I went down a little spiral of me drinking, and I would go to the bars. I would go to the bars and drink, right? And in the very beginning, back in 2013, 14, when I was like, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do as my career. I would always see those contractors at the bars, and I always told myself, I'm not gonna be that guy.
Right.
And so then, fast forward to earlier this year, I saw myself. I got to a point where I was going, damn near every day. Mine wasn't like getting drunk, but it was like getting buzzed, like very buzzed. Right. But I caught myself, and I told I'm like, wait, what? What am I doing?
What are you doing? Right.
I'm becoming what I told myself I wouldn't become.
Right. It's not hard.
So it takes like that, like self accountability,
100%.
and like that, like I don't know how, but I don't know how obviously it's God too, but it just out of nowhere just kind of clicks.
Yeah. That's good for you, man, that it clicked.
Yeah.
It didn't click for me.
Yeah.
Right away. It's hard to admit that you have a problem and that something else controls you that you can't control.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to admit. Going back to, I'm so grateful to have the woman in my life that I have, because she keeps it real with me. Kind of like when we were talking about how you appreciate when someone keeps it real with you at work.
Yep.
She keeps it real with me. And sometimes it hurts when someone that you love keeps it real with you or tells you what you need to hear that you might not want to hear.
Yep.
With the job, the reason that I really started pursuing other things, it wasn't what she said to me directly. It's what she was avoiding to tell other people.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. She came home one day and she's like, "Oh, are you going to be doing this forever?" And I told myself, why not? What's wrong with what I have now? What's wrong with the money I'm making? Whatever. And I found out that she was embarrassed to tell her coworkers that she was dating a bartender. That hurt. Like it really did.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of breaking down in that moment and being upset with her because she was embarrassed about what I was doing.
Yeah.
Why aren't I embarrassed about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Then you kind of, once again, take a step back and you look at what everybody's doing around you, and not to compare myself with other people.
Right.
But I knew that I could
do more.
Yeah. Be more. But fast forward a little bit to the drinking, I got out of the bartending job. She's embarrassed about what I'm doing. So I'm like, shit, I need to figure something out. So I started applying. Once again, my friend Kelly comes into the picture. His mom was the sales manager at Guardian Alarm for inside sales. He hit me up. Saving grace again, man. This dude's always been in my corner, bro.
You need to connect with
him.
him.
Yeah, man. That's my boy. So he hits me up. He's like, hey, we're looking for an inside sales rep. We think you'd be perfect. I've always been good at talking to people. I've always been good at like making people feel comfortable. So the inside sales department was becoming a new department there. They thought I'd be good. So I went into that. But what I didn't let go was the hiding of the drinking still.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what caused me. That's something, because I am involved in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Trying to figure out why. And sometimes I still don't know to this day what caused me to start drinking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever have 100% understanding of it.
I think I'm going to give an opinion, right? Based off of what I've heard today. I think, and this is neither or, so this is just an opinion. But, if you look at your life, right, you started taking shots because you were in that world of people want to give you shots, you're taking them. But I think if you look also back before you even did bartending, you never really had anybody put that pressure on you to be like, hey, like, nah, this isn't what you should be doing, or this is what you should be doing. So you've kind of always figured it out on your own. And, you know, I think regardless if you would have had those like that mentality of someone's like watching out for what you're doing, maybe you would have also, it would have helped you watch out for yourself.
Possibly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
you know
what
what
you're
I'm trying to
saying.
say? Like,
Yeah.
and once again, this is just an idea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just, I'm thinking of it all, how it all
Right.
connects. You know, because one thing, like now that, you know, I'm 30, I look at some things that I'm like, this is stuff that I did back when I was a kid, you know, and I'm like, how it all like kind of full circles back around, especially when you're 30 for some reason. Like, you know what I mean?
Man, that 30 got you, man.
You know, but it all comes for full circle, you
Yeah.
know, like I see myself like as a dad now, and you know, there's certain things that I'm like, wait, you know, I'm exposing my kids to things that I
Right.
was exposed to, you know, so I'm like, I got to change how I'm doing things.
Yeah.
But, you know, kind of like, you know, going back to just your struggles with alcohol, you know, I think it is crazy that, you know, it's so socially accepted. But you have to tell yourself to stop.
Yeah, you start. So you have, again, Kyra, my girlfriend, telling me, I think you have a problem. And then my mom telling me, I think you have a problem. Full transparency, outside of me just going to the liquor store or going to the gas station and picking up something that I knew I could consume before I got home to hide it, I would buy stuff for the later in the night, hide it in the cabinets. Or what I would do is whenever I'd go over to my mom's house, she lives out in Point Place. You know how we are with work. Sometimes we can be mobile. I would go over to my mom's house after appointments, and I would go over there and just drink their vodka before they would get home.
Wow.
And those are the moments where I started to realize this is a problem.
Yeah.
And then you have this weird inner battle, and it's people who aren't an alcoholic or people that don't struggle with addiction. This is probably the hardest thing for them to understand, and I still fully don't understand it. But why not just stop? You know, when you know you have a problem, why not just stop? And I would have these inner battles with myself every single day. Go to bed every single night regretting my decisions. Waking up every single morning regretting my decisions, saying I'm not going to drink anymore. But you know what I did that day is I drank. And I'd have these inner battles with myself every single day, knowing I wasn't going to drink. But here I am driving past the liquor store, and I'm staring at it, knowing a mile down the road, I know I'm going to pass that liquor store.
Yeah.
I'm telling myself, don't pull into the parking lot.
Yeah.
Driving, and it's this constant back and forth in your head. What do you think I end up? I end up in the liquor store parking lot. Now I'm battling with myself not to walk in. So it's so crazy to me that I can be telling myself that I know this is bad, and I can be telling myself that I know I shouldn't be doing this, and that this is destroying not only my body, but my future.
Yeah.
But here I am walking into the liquor store. Here I am buying the bottle. Here I am opening the bottle, and now I'm drinking it. And for a small moment of time, here I am feeling good now. Once again, I got it. Once again, I had this feeling. I feel euphoric for a moment. 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. Immediate anxiety right after that, though.
Wow.
Now I'm going home, faking like I'm sober. Living this fake life, being fake to the people around me, being fake to myself, lying to everybody around me that I don't have a problem. It's hard.
And you know what's really crazy? When you opened up about that, like, I think that was like the last thing I expected.
Never would have guessed it.
Like you just don't. I guess like when we meet people, we don't. Like me personally, I don't think about like, oh, what problems does he have, right? So when you opened up about it, and you were saying how you know, like even saying, you know, you were hiding it and doing these like extreme things.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, whoa, what?
Right.
You know, and I even felt bad because I feel like I've put you in situations where I'm like, oh, you know, come on, let's have a drink, you know, but you just never expect, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I think it's crazy how I was just taken back. So,
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were, because I don't think people, when you think of addiction, there's an image that comes to mind.
Right.
You know, but for me, I was able to cover that image up with other successes,
Mm.
or, hey, look at me, look at my life, look at my job.
Right.
I don't have a problem.
Right.
But deep down inside, I was struggling every single day
Mm-hmm.
and lying to people that I apparently love. So alcohol made me become an addict, and it made me become a terrible person to the people in my life.
Yeah.
I was lying to the people that were around me every single day, including you.
And I think you know, it goes past alcohol, like way past alcohol, right? Like you see like all these stories of these successful people, and I guess success is a very broad word, right?
Yeah.
But you see all these stories of people who, you know, super rich. That's one way of being successful. Or this story of this guy or this woman who has, you know, 3 kids in a beautiful home in the suburbs of whatever city they live in, and then, you know, you hear this tragedy of like they end up killing each other,
Right.
or there's this abuse that comes up out of nowhere, or, you know, he was doing this the whole time, or, you know, child predator, or whatever the case, like, and you're just like, what the hell, like, you know. And I think it kind of shines a light on like just in general like what we need to speak up about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's like a lot of people hold a lot of things in, and we don't speak about what we actually need to speak about.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of in the beginning of this podcast here, when you asked me what was it like to be a man in that moment. How did you feel as a man?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel as a man when you're going through problems, knowing that you live in a society that doesn't want to hear about them?
Right.
Go figure it out yourself.
Mm.
You know, as a man, are we supposed to be emotional? Are we supposed to tell people our problems?
Right.
I think that's a societal issue as well.
Right.
So the AA group I go to is for men only. And I feel the most comfortable with them because I can express myself truthfully every time I go.
So wait, so they have, okay, so I want to talk about that a little bit. I've never been to an AA. I actually want to go with you sometime just because I want to experience it. So for someone out there who's never experienced going into an AA, and I'm sure there's people out there that know they have a problem.
Yeah.
That are like, I want to go to this, but that fear of not knowing what's going to happen when you go in.
For sure.
You know, because you go into this room, hey, I'm coming to AA. You don't want to be looked at as like, oh, here's another guy, another victim. Like, come here, like,
it's
you know,
it's an image, it's a construct that the society's created about what AA is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a low life, you're a degenerate, you're nothing. When you think of AA, when you think of somebody that's going to AA, what image comes to your mind?
Honestly, I think about kind of like you said, you know, like I think of a homeless person who asks for money and just gets like aristocrat bottles.
Yeah. A bottle of pop off or something for the night. I mean, that's part of it though. The other part of it is, like you said, the white picket fence, the man with the family, the woman with the great career.
Yeah.
So there's not one picture that's painted for an alcoholic. And I think the scariest thing is the fact that you can be an alcoholic without anybody ever knowing. Yeah. That's dangerous. Because who's the one that has to tell you that you're an alcoholic?
Yourself, right?
Self.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's struggling with it, including myself still, I'm 4 months sober. I'll be 5 months sober in 3 days. So I feel great about that, but I know that my struggle and my road is not over with yet, and it never will be. So for somebody that's struggling with addiction and struggling with alcohol, the hardest thing for me in the beginning was taking those steps into the first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. So when I first first thing is telling myself and everybody around me, I'm an alcoholic. Every Alcoholics Anonymous meeting that I go to, the first thing that we say is, hi, my name is Justin and I'm an alcoholic.
That's fucking crazy.
It's to remind myself.
Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Now, crazy or not, it has worked for me and it has helped me and guided me. But when I first was telling the people around me that I was an alcoholic, I still had never gone to a meeting before. So, you know, everybody is telling me, hey, I think you need to go to AA. I think you need to go to a therapist, counselor. So what I was doing, me being the person that I was, a liar, I was lying about going to AA. I would go to AA and I would sit outside of these meetings. I wouldn't even go in, but I was going.
Right.
For other people, not for myself still. Still not going to AA for myself. Until I finally got to the point. Now this is 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I'm not sure the exact timeline, but I'm lying to people about what I'm doing in recovery, how good I'm going, not knowing they don't know that I'm still drinking.
Yeah.
They don't know that I'm still hiding stuff. Go ahead.
I wanna if you could paint a picture of like what's it like. So you show up, first of all, how do you find an AA?
You can go, first of all, go online and type in AA meetings near me, and you'll find
Google will find
a laundry list of places that are willing to help you. Now, when you find the list, the first step is admitting that you're an alcoholic. Second step is, once again, this is on your own. No one's going to help you. Finding places where you can go for Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. And I'm assuming there's a couple. No, there's hundreds, if not thousands in the city.
Really?
Every day, every hour, every day. There's some that start at 7 a.m. There's some that start at 8 o'clock at night.
So there's no excuse of like,
there's no excuse.
Yeah.
You can find time to go to it. And what I will say is, if you are somebody that is struggling with alcohol or addiction and you're trying to escape this harsh lifestyle every single day of regretting every decision you make, you will never feel more welcome than at an AA meeting, because everybody in that room is going through the same problems that you're going through too. Now, it's hard to talk to somebody that's not going through an addiction problem because they don't understand the mind or because it doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you that I would go and sit outside of a liquor store knowing I have an alcohol problem? No. But it makes sense to the alcoholic because they have the same mental struggles that I do. So you go into this room of people that are having the same issues as you. That's comforting already. The other comforting part is going into my first actual meeting, raising my hand and saying, I don't know what to say, but my name's Justin and I'm an alcoholic. This is my first time talking. This is an issue that I'm willing to admit, and I need help. And that's the hardest thing to say.
That's humbling as fuck.
It is. And the other humbling part is when you say that, how much love and support they start to give you in those groups. They stand up, they applaud. Thank you for coming. This is the first step to your road to recovery. Now, that doesn't mean that I was recovered by any means. This is 1.5 years ago. I went to my first AA meeting. 3 months down the road after admitting I'm an alcoholic, 3 months down the road after going to AA meetings, I'd managed to stay sober for a little bit, but after 3 months, I couldn't even tell you what caused it or why or where I was, but I started drinking again. Not out in the open, but I'm hiding it again.
Yeah.
Still going to meetings, but I'm still drinking. Covering it up with the meetings though. So I'm going to meetings, but I'm not drinking. Here I am lying to everybody again though. The guilt that you live with, man, that's the hardest part.
And AA has is it 7 or 9 steps?
12-step program.
12-step.
Yep.
12-step.
12-step program.
What step are you in?
I'm on step 4.
Step 4. So is it like a time-based step program?
No, it's when you feel comfortable to move on.
Like you make that decision, or
you and your sponsor.
Okay.
So
So what's the
sponsor? So I am on my 3rd sponsor right now. A sponsor is basically somebody who has gone into the program and finished all 12 steps, and now the 12th step is to become basically a mentor for somebody else. Go out and give the message that you've received and that you've been given. So a sponsor helps you through the 12-step program. So step 1, admitting that you're an alcoholic. The step that I'm on is me taking an inventory for all the people that I've hurt in my life by being an alcoholic. And that's humbling as well. Because you don't really think you've hurt anybody until you've realized all the people that you've made small lies to.
Yeah.
So me taking a personal inventory every day and writing them down is the step that I'm on now. And again, that can be very humbling. The step that I'm not looking towards the most, but I know that will be the most challenging is step 9. And that step 9 is going to all the people and making amends with all the people that you've hurt directly, face to face.
Wow.
So me going, and I've talked to Kyra and I've talked to my mom about this, how hard it is going to be with them, because the people that are in my closest circle are the people that I've lied to and hurt the most.
Yeah. I mean, those are the ones that I feel like the closer they are, it's unfortunate, but we lie to them the most.
Yeah, for sure.
The I'm sorry, were you done or no?
No, yeah, you're good.
The one thing, you know, that we were talking about with Winky, that I thought, I don't know, I once again, just me being ignorant to AA. He's like, yeah, I've been going for like 20 years. Yeah. And in my head, I even told him, I was like, damn, like, when are you gonna like, when are you like officially like
done?
You know,
yeah.
And
what are you doing?
Right? Like, are you gonna pass the final test? Like, like, and you know, and he's like, no, this is like a forever thing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, it's also my personality. Like, my personality is like, I like to finish things.
But you're right.
So like, how does that does that discourage you? Does
you know, I don't look at it like that. I think it's hard. I think if I did look at it like that, it would be discouraging to be like, this is the rest of my life. Kind of like when people ask me, are you ever going to drink again? I can't say I'm going to drink. I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
The thing that I can tell you is that I'm not going to drink today. That's as honest as I can be.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm not going to drink in 10 years. I don't know.
Right.
But what I do know is what I have to do and the steps that I have to take to get to that point.
Yeah.
And if that means me going to an AA meeting for a couple months, I was going every single day, 7 days a week, because I knew that's what I needed to do. I needed to commit myself to a program and commit myself to people and be surrounded by people that were going to support me outside of Kyra, outside of my mom, outside of my brother, outside of people at work that were going to support me and that were going through the same struggles as I was going through. Now I go once a week. I can't say I'm going to go for the rest of my life, but as of right now, I can say I'm going to go once a week for the extended future.
When you first came into construction sales, so you were struggling with that.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I was struggling with it. I wasn't struggling with it as much because I was still drinking out in the open. I wasn't hiding anything when I had first started.
Right.
Because I just quit bartending, yada yada.
Yeah.
But no, when I first started, I was drinking every day. It's probably not something you knew. It's not something I was going to come into the interview and tell you. But
drink every day. Nice.
Yeah, hey, on the list. I'd be an asset to the company. I'm an alcoholic.
What do you think has been the most satisfying feeling achievement to after you stopped drinking? Like,
well, I know that you and other people in my life that I see almost on a daily basis can tell where my head's at, and it's not in the same mentally. I mean, I was coming in mentally weak to the office almost every day, and I'm sure you could feel the energy that I was giving off. And now to this point, you kind of put your energy in a different area, and I can confidently say that I've never performed better at work than these past 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it shows. Now, my home life, I've probably never showed up like I've showed up over the past 4 months. Every day. I'm not saying that I'm in a good mood every single day.
Right.
Or that I'm chipper to see or to do whatever it is for my daily task that day. But I know that I am more of the person that I need to be for everybody that's around me now and for myself than I was 4 months ago.
Do you... With all that being said, do you have more clarity now on who you see yourself as the next 2, 3, 5 years?
Yeah. I don't want to jump too far ahead of, especially when it comes to my sobriety. I don't want to jump ahead and say, again, that's why I never want to say that I'm never going to drink again or that I'm not going to have, that relapse. Because I want to stay committed to the day and I want to stay committed to tomorrow and the day after that on my sobriety. Now, when I take the alcoholism out of it, I will say that I do have more mental clarity on being able to focus on what my future looks like financially, with my family, wanting to get married, wanting that next chapter in my life.
Yeah.
Outside of my sobriety. But I take my sobriety on a day-by-day basis.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it because I guess you just never think about it like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it gives me the clarity again. It gives me not drinking alcohol gives me the clarity to see a future in other areas. But the one thing that I want to tread lightly on is the drinking.
What would you tell somebody that's struggling with whatever addiction it is?
The one thing I would tell somebody that is actively struggling with addiction is it gets 1,000% better. I know that my life is 1,000 times better now than what it was with alcohol, for sure. The other thing that I will say is that if you have an addiction and you have the ability to get out of an active addiction, that you have something. You have the ability to do almost anything if you have the ability to overcome an addiction. And somebody that's not an addict won't understand what I'm saying. But if you have the ability to come out of one of the darkest times in your life, you have the ability to do almost anything in your life. You know, and that's kind of the mindset that I've had moving forward outside of this addiction.
Yeah.
Is channeling my energy and my focus into other areas. So if you have something, if you have an addiction and you have the ability to get out of that,
You can pretty much,
you have something inside of you that is capable of doing anything you want, because that is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
you know, I think that's a seed that you've had. Listening to your story, it seems as if like you've always had the courage to try new things. And, you know, think about it like a seed, right? In the very beginning, you said, I'm going into bartending. I told them I was a bartender, you know, maybe lied to a little bit, but you got into it, and then you went from bartending to sales, right? So now you're in sales, and it's all of a mixture of your life is a mixture, not your life literally, but just your life in general as a person is a mixture of a lot of things. And I think the one of them is those characteristics like courage and being able to say, you know what, like I do have a problem, and I am gonna go to AA, or I'm gonna say I've done this even though I've never done it, or I'm gonna travel and bartend and figure it out. You know, and I think that's a very strong personality trait to have.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of the reason why you've been as successful as you have, and why I believe in you personally, and why I believe that you'll go even farther in life.
Yeah.
Because you have those characteristics of saying, hey, no, I'm gonna try this out.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people like, I feel like live in fear of what if, or what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, what if, you know, but you have to get out of your shell and just say, you know what, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah. Get out of your own way, really. You know, I don't know if you remember, but when I started when I started working for you, I had an interview with Alex, and then I had an interview with Alex and you. And I don't know if you remember, but I told you, I was honest as can be. I said, I have no clue. I have no knowledge of the construction industry.
Yeah.
I don't know what a shingle is, for God's sake. But if you believe in me, I can learn the skills to become an asset for the company. That's not something that I would willingly say if I was trying to get a job. You know what I mean? Like, here I am lying on the application again. But I told you straight up, like, listen, I know what I can be and I know who I am. I don't know shit about construction.
But, you know, kind of going back to our initial conversation of like like I respected the fact that you straight up told me.
Yeah.
You know, but also you can like, I'm the type of person, I can feel a personality.
Yeah.
And I felt good. It's like a mixture of like God and like your own like life that you've lived.
Yeah.
Like I felt like, you know what, I can believe in this person. This person isn't bluffing. You know, when you interview people, a lot of people, you can just tell they're lying about stuff.
Right.
Oh, I've done this. So, you know, it's like, you know, if I came and I said, you know, I was a mechanic operator and I was a dishwasher, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, make it sound like, you know, and it's like, okay, where, you know, Longhorns, like, wait, what? You know, so it's like, you know, but that's the thing. Truth is gonna go a lot farther than, you know, lies will. And
that corny tale, truth will set you free.
You know, and I love the fact that, like, you know, kind of moving. One of the things that I really, I've never told you this, but I really like this about you. You have what is it that you just got?
A record player?
A vinyl record player. You know, I love that because it just, I feel like you're going into your Unk era.
Heavy, heavy, bro. I'm in my Unk era heavy. It's hard to admit. That's another hard to admit.
Do you play it every night?
We play records almost every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not every single. When we first got it, we were every hour. But that's the one thing that me and Kyra connected on. That's one of the things that me and you connected on was music.
Yeah,
Similar interest in music. After you told me that you didn't eat bacon and all that other stuff back in the day.
Which is a lie. I do eat bacon.
Yeah.
I do eat bacon. But I wanted to wrap this up. I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think your story is incredible, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Appreciate
honestly, it. I wish you nothing but success in life.
Appreciate it.
And I'm really proud of the milestones you've hit.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt in my mind that you're gonna hit even more milestones. And you're what, 33?
35.
35?
Yeah,
oh,
man. Hey,
hey, you're still young.
that's full Unk era.
Still super young.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
And I got a gift for you.
Oh yeah.
So yep. So,
Oh shoot.
three really. So I got you
Oh,
Gangsta Music vinyl record.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
I was trying earlier when I was texting. I was like, which ones do you have and stuff? You were,
Oh,
yeah. I was
knew it.
trying to figure
He was
out
finessing me.
NWA greatest hits.
Dang.
Do you have any
I
of
don't
these?
have any of these. No.
Do you like the NWA? And I know you like older style, so
Punk music, bro.
in the last
No,
one,
that's the king right there.
the Carter 2.
That
Do you have the
leather
Carter
so
3?
soft.
No?
Look at this.
Shoot. I was going to get you that one, but I was like, I'm sure he has that one.
Thanks for having me on too.
But everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. Please go like, share, comment, subscribe. Justin, any last words, anything?
Thank you for having me, man. I wish you nothing but success. I know this is a big passion of yours. I can tell how far you've already come from that first little snippet that we did on the golf course to where you're at now, man. It's a beautiful studio and you're doing a beautiful thing, man. And I appreciate you for believing in me.
Thank you.
And I wish you nothing but the best too as well, man. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much, brother.
Appreciate it. Dang.